Hi, this is Hector, and in this presentation, I am going to share with you my thoughts about a truly wonderful story that we can all learn from. A story that will give us excellent opportunities to discuss issues of bullying, tolerance, and acceptance of others. But before I introduce this fantastic story to you, I would like to talk a little bit about one of the biggest challenges that as a teacher we will have to deal with during our professional lives. Yeah, I'm talking about classroom management. Let's face it, who isn't afraid of having the worst behaved student of the school in your classroom? That one student who will always test your patience? Yeah, I'm talking about a student who is constantly in trouble and who has no gold stars and no friends. No one in the school actually likes him because he has terrible manners. Indeed, he is a truly mean bully. This student brings to mind a comical book by Louis Sachar titled There's a Boy in the Girls' Bathroom. In the story, Bradley Chalkers is a typical boy who sits alone at the back of the class, in the last seat, in the last row. He wants to change people's perception of him and to try harder and succeed in a school instead of always failing his tests. This book makes us think differently about troublemaker kids because as the story unfolds, we come to understand that Bradley is a sweet and likable boy whose behavior is caused by a big desire for friendship and approval, not only from his peers but also from his parents. I believe that teachers and parents can enjoy this book as much as children. From an adult perspective, if you are looking for a story to read to your 9 to 12-year-old children or students, this book is a good choice because the vocabulary is not difficult to understand. The chapters are short, and although the story is told in a funny way, the ideas and themes that the book raises are mature. The book can lead to wonderful classroom debates about topics such as empathy, bullying, fitting in versus not fitting in, being different, and being yourself. It can also lead to important discussions along these topics at home. I believe that children will love this book too because the main character, Bradley, is far from being perfect or a good role model to follow. This is exactly why children will easily identify with him. Bradley is a realistic, portrayed bad kid who is committed to turning things around. Although the story is meant to dive into realistic issues that are relevant to children, it never reads as preachy or educational. Any kid who likes reading school stories featuring seemingly real kids as a characters will love this book, and they will learn that even bad guys on the outside can be good guys on the inside. The tone of the book is upbeat and the language simple and humorous, while its themes are complex. This allows the author to create a particular relationship with the reader. The main character is not introduced in a positive way, which means that the author uses language to make the reader reflect on what's good and what's bad. The author's use of words such as "spitter", for example, showcase vocabulary variants in a range of formality that denote a bad behavior. Spitter is a street slang. It's not polite, so the reader quickly understands that spitting is disrespectful. The field determines the vocabulary used in this story, and this makes particular demands on the reader. Therefore, I believe that this book will make a great read because although it is set in an elementary school and the main characters are fifth graders, parents and home life are also involved in the drama. This means that the book provides great opportunities for opening up discussions on a variety of topics. The best thing is that reading the story is fun, which makes it easier for teachers and caregivers to be able to effectively address even uncomfortable issues such as bullying. The reader cannot avoid becoming emotionally involved with the characters, and emotions are important to learning. The pleasure of becoming involved in the story will make children want to repeat the experience if reading. Truthfully, what teachers or parents don't want their children or students to love reading? The story can be used in many different ways in the classroom. For example, shared reading can be a great opportunity to discuss characters, settings, and events. This is an American story which provides opportunities to Australian children to learn and identify unusual words that may be unfamiliar with. A possible book project is to have students write a diary from Bradley's point of view. Students are encouraged to think about the thoughts and feelings Bradley will include in his diary. A PowerPoint story will make a good lesson activity as well. Students can add their own text to a set of images to explain what's happening. Another idea is a fun drama activity. For example, ask your students to work in pairs or together as a class if you prefer. One student takes on the role of one of the characters and asks the other children to interview him or her about the events of the story. This can lead to immersion in the book's themes. There's a Boy in the Girls' Bathroom by Louis Achard is a book to have and to hold. It not only will make students and teachers laugh, but also it will raise great opportunities to discuss topics that can be difficult to address within the classroom setting. It's a journey through the life of a boy whose desire for love and attention makes us reflect on what makes a bully a bully. This story gives us profound insight into what our children are faced with every day in school. This is a must-read book that will remain in the readers' minds and hearts for a long, long time. It will teach us all that behind every kid there is a world shaped not only by the decisions of its designer, but by the actions of those people surrounding him.